Hey, me here. Today is Saturday, March 21st, and this is the Corona Introspective, living in the world of the coronavirus. First of all, thank you for tuning in. This is officially day number 6 doing this. Can't believe I lasted doing this as long as I have. Who knows? Maybe it'll become something. And like I've gotten in the habit, I'm gonna start out with positive things. Actually, before we get to the positive things, let's first talk about the numbers. According to Worldometer, today in the US, we have hit close to 26,000 confirmed coronavirus cases. Um, that's a lot, guys, and it's only going to keep growing exponentially. We are still not close to peak. But the morbidity, is that a word? The morbidness, the morbid thoughts aside, let's talk about positives. Um, One, today the FDA authorized a new test for coronavirus where you can get the results in 45 minutes. So hopefully they can ramp that up and get that out in the streets so we can identify more people, so that as you're getting sick, as I'm getting sick, as your neighbors are getting sick, instead of wondering for days, whether you do have it or not, and you can kind of know sooner, get into quarantine sooner if you haven't been self quarantining, anyways, and something that'll hopefully help you be a more socially responsible individual if you get sick. Um, Two, you guys know the app Nextdoor. Well, they just released Help Map. It's I guess an app, mynextdoor.com, that helps where you can mark yourself as available to help your neighbors. Go grocery shopping for them, take care of the kids if they need to go to work. So, kind of, anything that we can do to help each other out in this time of need. And on a similar note, actually, a company where I contract at, AARP, today released a beta of a site called aarpmutualaid.org. So I haven't looked too deeply into either of them yet, but I believe it's a similar idea. Essentially, somewhere you can go to, one, if you need to ask for help, such as, if you are an older person and you can't leave your house, and you need someone to ask somebody for help, for any service, to turn to your neighbors, or it's somewhere you can go if you want to offer your help and your services to somebody. And it's neighbors helping neighbors, it's each other in the community, us helping each other, because again, in times of disaster like now, we really do need to look out for one another, not just ourselves. Um, Another cool thing that I heard about today is, especially in New York City, I hope it's happening in other places too because I think it's lovely, but where the courthouse and where couples can't get married, in a official setting anymore, there are couples that are now getting married out in the streets while being socially isolated. Just saw this beautiful segment over on the TV about a couple in New York City, and they were officiated by, I guess, somebody on a balcony fairly high above them. They were out in the street. They had a crowd of people not near them, at a safe distance, and the crowd was at a safe distance from each other. And the person officiating them was, screaming down at them from the balcony, hey, do you want to take this person to be your lawfully wedded wife? Um, beautiful how, they screamed out like, "Yes, I do." It was fantastic. It was beautiful. And, the small sparse crowd on the street cheered. All of the neighbors from their balconies went out and cheered, and it was such a beautiful, lovely moment. And let the love spread. Let the love spread and not the virus. Um, um, and also just a public service announcement. Support your local businesses, support your local restaurants. Right now, everybody's suffering together. So if you're still able to get, takeout or delivery where you live, do that if you can. Um, right now, these businesses need your money. Again, do that safely. Don't go crowding to the restaurants. Call them ahead of time. Put your order in. Come back when it's ready. Pick it up. Keep it moving. But a lot of people are losing their jobs. A lot of people already lost their jobs. So anything we can do to keep, small businesses really are the backbone of the community. And also, if you're one of those people who's hoarding masks and hand sanitizer or other protective gear, donate it to your local hospitals and local healthcare providers. They need it more than you do. You're not gonna wear the masks properly, unless you're in a situation where you're at home and you're healthy and you're caring for somebody with the virus. In that case, you probably still need your masks. But if that's not the case, you and your mask by yourself does nobody good other than just sitting there. So donate it. Especially if you have like a supply of them because you heard about this early on, you went out and you just bought way too many. Okay, so since I've been doing this for a couple of days now, I keep, um, evolving how I'm doing this. I'm trying out different settings. You see me here. Um, and for the last couple of days I just kind of like took like little notes about what I wanted to talk about on the notepad. Today I actually typed out what I wanted to talk about, so let me try this out and see how this works. And yes, and to start with, the most important thing, I should have led with that, I didn't. um so a friend of mine, I'm gonna call him Alex without divulging his identity. Alex, feel free to tag yourself, if you want to do that. But he sent me this audio file, which I'm assuming has been maybe circulating around or just beginning to circulate around online. Um, and it's essentially a woman talking about how in China, they've done enough autopsies on coronavirus patients and they have enough data that they're able to offer a lot of helpful hints, about how the virus travels through your system, what you need to do, if you get sick. Doesn't mean it's going to be, make it or break it, but, potentially something that can help. How, whether the virus lives on hair and on clothes, and it says that it does. So, if you go outside and you're like sitting on public benches and stuff, go home and throw your clothes in the washer. Um, but I will post the file over on my pages once I figure out how, after I post this. So keep a lookout for it, hopefully before tomorrow. I'll try to make that available as publicly as I can. But also, I'm saying this, I don't know the original source. The person in the audio file does not identify themselves. So I'm posting this only because it sounds like solid advice regardless. Even if the information in there is not 100% accurate, I don't know if it is or not. Um, and I don't want to be spreading misinformation. However, nonetheless, it sounds like solid advice, and nothing that they're telling you is going to in any way hurt you. So please listen to it when it becomes available. Okay, so today is Saturday. It's officially the weekend, and I wanted to talk about sex. sex while socially isolating. If you're isolating with a significant other, hopefully this isn't a problem that you're going to have to deal with or worry about. But if you're stuck at home by yourself or with people that can't help you in that department, what are you to do? I realize that sex plays a very different role in everybody's lives, and for some, it carries a lot of weight, while for others, well, others can go a little bit longer without. Um, but what do you do, or what do you do, and what would you do to scratch that itch while still being socially responsible? Is self help enough? Look, I love my friends lefty and righty over here. I really truly do. But for me, it just does not replace another human body. And if you have a significant other, somebody that you do usually see on a regular basis, but for whatever reason, you guys are not socially isolating together, you're not living together right now, during this time of the coronavirus, um, are you still seeing each other regularly? What do you do to stay safe? Are you having conversations about it? Are you having conversations about, what exposures both of you have had to other people, to the outside, when you're meeting up? Or are you taking this as time apart and not even seeing each other? Or are you seeing each other and maybe just not engaging intimately? If you're in that situation, let me know in the comments below. Um, but what if you don't have one regular partner? What if you don't have a significant other in that situation? Um, I have been thinking about calling one of my friends, but I haven't yet because I'm assessing in my head what I know about their situation, like their lifestyle, and whether I'm comfortable with making, physical contact really of any form with them today. And that includes, and I'm speaking generally, right? That includes where they work, where who they live with, what their housemates, whether it's children, parents, roommates, do for work. There's a lot of people out there still dealing with other people, on a regular basis through their jobs. And right now, I'm going to say hopefully only through their jobs. Um, whether you're a restaurant worker that's running orders from, that people ordered for their takeout and running it from the kitchen to the individuals outside, to their cars. Whether you're checking people out at the grocery store, at the pharmacy, maybe you're working a science lab helping develop, a new vaccine, a new treatment, running studies, maybe at a hospital, maybe you're policing the streets right now, still having to come into contact with people, or operating ambulances. All business has not stopped, and there's still a lot of essential people out there. And as I've heard recently, even some of my friends who do the type of work that could easily be done from home, and their offices unfortunately just haven't caught up, and they're still being asked to come in several times a week. They can work the other days from home, but they still don't want everybody to be completely remote 24/7. That's a little scary. But the question is that something, if I'm thinking about a person to call on that's potentially in a situation like this, whether they work or live with people that do that type of job, is that something that I want to expose myself to right now? Because I have been a little bit more socially isolated than that. Um, I don't want to say that I've been 100% perfect. I saw somebody a couple of days ago and we hugged. Mind you, like distant kind of hug, but still closer than 6 feet. Um, but I'm isolating. Do I want to put myself into physical contact with somebody that's not? Or is it maybe worth just having that conversation with them? Because maybe I'm just making assumptions and they have been locked up and keeping themselves just as safe as I have been. Um, and also getting just as itchy, for stuff. Um, and it actually may be perhaps less of a risk to both of us if only we can talk about it. And the other one is dating apps. I'm on them. Not gonna tell you which ones. You can guess there's a few popular ones out there. But for the last couple of weeks, I have not started or engaged into any new conversations with anybody. But there's still quite a few men, people hitting me up. Can I make the same judgments about these individuals from the apps, people that I haven't met yet, as I do about my friends, um, assuming that, if they're open to having a conversation about how they're isolating and what they're doing to keep safe, with precautions they are taking, can it still be as safe as somebody that I trust, or just a bad time to trust others because I don't know them. If somebody is just looking to scratch an itch, like, they can lie. They can lie on any other regular day as well when we're not going through this, but there's so much more at stake today, right? Um, or maybe, what if they are just looking for somebody to be isolated with? I mean, that's a match, problem solved, right? Like, imagine this: an online match during the COVID-19 isolation period leads to two strangers deciding to isolate together and fall in love. And in 9 months, there's a new coronial born. Coronials. It's a thing. Look it up. It's becoming a thing. It's gonna be a thing. It's definitely gonna be a thing. Yeah, no, definitely. I'm definitely not. I'm just playing. In today's state, look. I'd say I do a lot of stupid things and make a lot of stupid decisions, and oftentimes, just I'm like, hey, this seems like it could be fun if only it would work out. Close my eyes and jump and hope I land into something white and fluffy. But sometimes, unfortunately, I land in a pile of poop. But during, in this state of being, in today's state of being, and I would not isolate with somebody that I don't know, and definitely would not have their baby. Different. But would you? Would you? Leave me a comment and tell me, what are you doing to scratch that itch? Are you having sex with a partner that you live with? Are you still seeing your non-live-in partners, boyfriends and girlfriends? Or are you, meeting new people, dating online, or, hitting up your flings just because you need to? Leave me a comment below. Let me know. In the meantime, stay safe, stay vigilant, love and light.